In this video, I'd like to cover how to put your beam pockets in your foundation. Our model now has footing and foundation. We use the paint feature to texture the concrete so that it looks like concrete. And now we're going to add the pockets that are going to hold the beam that support the floor. If we look in our plans, we see that we have a beam that runs from side to side in the house to help support the floor joists. And they have a beam pocket at each end and a note that says that it's a 4-inch wide by 3-inch deep by 12-inch long beam pocket. Well, we look up here and we see that the microlam is 1 3/4 inches. There's two of them, 1 3/4 inches by 12. And that means the depth of the microlam is 12 inches. If we make our beam pockets 12 inches deep, then the microlam will sit flush with the top of the concrete. And we don't want that. We want it to sit flush with our mud sill. And so we're going to raise that up 1.5 inches. We're actually going to make the beam pocket 10.5 inches deep or long rather than 12 inches. So what else we notice here is that the center of the beam is 12 feet from the outside of the foundation wall. So let's make that beam pocket for our beam on our foundation. And we're going to start in the back corner here. And we're going to start by making a guideline from the back wall. And we're going to come down. Actually, the first thing we're going to do before we do a guideline is I'm going to double click on the foundation for my select tool. I'm going to double click to get into the edit mode. So now I'm actually editing the foundation. Because I made it a group, I have to edit the foundation before I can make any changes. Now I'm going to draw a guideline down, and it's going to be 11 foot 10 inches. Now 11 foot 10 inches gets me to the outside corner of the beam pocket. That's going to be 4 inches wide. Half of that pocket, half of 4 inches is 2 inches. That will give me a 12 foot center. And so by doing that, I can now draw a rectangle right here, and I can make it 4 inches, 4, 3. Okay, it's 4 inches wide, 3 inches deep. And then I can use my push-pull tool, and I can push it down 10.5 inches. I have my beam pocket for my beam. It's 4 inches wide, 3 inches deep, 10.5 inches long. And while I'm still in the edit mode for my foundation, I can come over here and do the same thing on this side. This line is still where I want it to be. So I can make another beam pocket that is 4, 3, and I can use my push-pull tool and push it down 10.5. And now I have both beam pockets made and ready for the beam. If we look down the house, we can see that it's nice and centered right over those footings, right where we want it to be. Now we can go to select, click outside of the house anywhere, go to our little eyeglasses, remove the guidelines, and we've got our house ready for our beam.